Howdy y'all, we're gonna work on the starter pinion today. We got it on the bench. Dad's already taken a lot of this apart, but we're gonna get into here. We want to get to this seal, and I need to go over and check on the O-ring that I got here. And we took a lot of this apart when we removed it from the machine unnecessarily, but since we're this far, we're gonna take it all apart, clean it up. Got the O-ring, the 2A3676. Here's that seal, the 3J4776, and yeah, these are not very expensive, but they're made in Italy. Bending over the fold-over locks.
Yeah, you want it?
Yep. Are you moving it? Need a cheater?
Or pop it with the hammer.
Where's the brass hammer here?
Right there.
There it goes.
You think?
Yep. You're loose. Yeah.
Oh, okay, there it went. All right, hang on to it. I'm going to put some torque on it.
It ain't budging. There it goes.
It was tight.
Yeah. With a 3-foot cheater to get this thing off.
Now there's spring tension here.
Okay.
So
stand in front of it?
Yeah.
That thing was just tight. Holy smokes.
Then there's 2 springs in there.
This should just slide off.
That comes off.
Ish.
Well, it just got stuff.
And we got a new one of them. We'll go ahead and replace it. 3B6564.
This should
slide out the back.
Slide
there.
right out the back.
If you want a new one of these, General Gear's got them. We'll have to make a gasket.
We'll make a new one, but save him if you can.
There it is. I got it. All right.
There it is.
You want to take it over there on the edge of the bench. This is the seal I need to get out of here, and there's a bearing right inside, which really doesn't feel bad at all. When you think about it, these don't run that long. As long as they're in oil, they're probably fine.
It just needs cleaned up.
We're this far, we could take the nut off, take it apart, clean it.
Yeah,
oil
and
it, check
this bearing.
We're going to try and get this seal out of here. This bearing is fine that's in here.
Yeah, it just needs cleaned.
Oh, I see. There's a sleeve in here. See it?
Oh, okay.
I've almost got it. I got it. That was in there. I don't think it's directional.
Gonna wreck it.
I know. It's wrecked. Nope. It wants to come out.
Yeah, it'll go.
There it goes. You know, I complained about this tool never working, and so far it's worked on the last 2 of these I've tried to take out, so maybe I just was working on too modern of equipment.
Probably get behind it and drive it out now.
Well, you can't get an angle in there with that bearing in the way.
There it went. Bearing is nothing wrong with it. Clean this up.
All right, it's all yours. Go, cleaner, go. Get it?
No. Where's your shaker?
Oh, yeah. It'll get it.
You think?
Yeah.
It did.
Dad always doubts this thing, but it always works. Except when it doesn't. Yeah, it's coming.
There it goes. It's going pretty easy.
It's got a little bit of resistance, but
in one place, there it is. It's off. There's the clutch plates. Now remember,
keep them in order.
How they go. There's a steel,
a disc,
and then there's this disc, and then there's another steel, and then this disc. So they go just like that. The brake.
Oh, the brake, clutch brake. Whoa.
That the key?
Somewhere.
I heard it hit the...
Yeah, it hit over here by the hose for the air.
I hope it didn't go in that hole right there.
I think it might have. Oh, yeah, right there. It's probably just big enough to get to lose it. Oh, we lucked out.
I'm going to put this key with all these other ones in this tray right here. Remember, that's a little guy.
Yeah, just put it next to the other little guy that's in there.
This, I think, just unscrews, but I kind of wanted to know about where it was. So we were right there. Let's get this off. 2 turns tight where it had tension. That's the wheel. The bottom plate, bronze, then a steel, then a bronze, a steel, then a bronze, a steel, bronze, steel, bronze, steel, bronze, and this guy on top. 3 keys that go in here. 1.
He's talking about the Woodruff keys that go right in those slots.
There's 3 of them. That's what keeps all that stuff in alignment.
In this project in general, we've learned we're better off just to go ahead and take stuff apart than to assume that it's going to be okay.
There's them.
That's it.
And then there's the clutch pack gear, I guess you'd call it. And that's basically it.
Yep. Now we can clean it up, put it back together.
I've been wanting to get this apart for like 3 weeks.
I know. I've been chomping at the bit. And I've been making him do we're doing other things. While we have this apart, Dad's gonna needle scale it. Clear's in cleaning mode. We gotta get all those parts cleaned. He really likes doing the bench work stuff, so I kinda let him do it. About done, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Looks good.
It's a lot of little parts.
All of our parts have gotten here, so we're gonna put this thing back together. Right now, Dad's making a gasket for this and some gaskets for this. We were able to keep this one. And right there it's split, but that will give us a pattern. And in a couple of minutes, Dad's going to be asking where his scissors are.
Where's my scissors? Ah. Okay, there's that one.
We're going to need a little of this. Grandpa's favorite.
This is the pinion lock.
Got that in there, drove the pin in, and then you put the spring in there.
Yeah, the spring goes in right there, see?
Yeah.
On each of these. We'll put that in here.
And now's the fun part. Ah, you're backing out the screws. Give yourself a little bit more. Then you put the screws in.
No use doing it the dumb way.
Well, that's how I usually do things. Sometimes you just got to fumble it across the finish line. And pick it up on the other side.
You have to be sure that they're engaged. See? Like that.
I see. And you push your pin through. Some counter keys here. Hopefully these are the correct size, and those are what holds it in. Oh, those will work perfectly.
Put my spring in.
Right, now you got to start that screw on the other side.
They were just not quite flush. They were like right just outside of being flush, both of them. And then there's a cotter pin that goes in here that locks them. They're pretty stiff right now, but they're working.
Oh, I see. They go right through the screw.
Yeah.
To hold it.
After we get it adjusted.
Right. But we're just going to put them in there temporarily. We're not going to bend them all the way yet.
We're going to just bend them like this, just so they won't fall out.
We're just putting a little of this multi-purpose spray lube in there to grease this. And these bearings are fine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. They're harder to pack because of the cage, and we don't want to press them out. They're going to run in oil anyway, but this is just going to be a little bit of extra insurance. The next thing we need to do is get the seal that goes in here. And we have a new one of those. That is a 3J4776. It should stop, right?
It should be pretty much flush.
Now we're getting it. We got a little grease on that seal. We'll finish putting it together. Ready to stack this clutch pack on here?
Yeah.
And so that is the clutch pack that goes on first. There you go. Got a little grease in there.
Start with the bottom piece. Goes on. Oh, I don't have my keys in there. I need my keys.
Like always, forgetting your keys.
Those go in there.
Those go in there. There's 3 of them. They go in those little slots. He's putting one on the other side right now. I remember playing this game in kindergarten.
Yeah.
But I'm not very good at it.
Like Operation.
There it goes. Go ahead and push down. There we go.
Should fall down there. There you go.
Goes.
Now this guy.
So that's probably why you should grease those, to hold them in place a little better.
They'll be fine here shortly.
Yeah.
We'll get enough stack on it.
But if you do this, it might make it a little easier.
Now another steel. Then a brass. Then a steel. Then a brass. Steel. Brass. Steel. Brass. It's like putting the steering clutches together, ain't it?
Yeah, only not as heavy.
And the last one's a steel, and then see the little marks?
Yeah.
Then this guy,
or index,
goes on here. Somewhere. There.
There it goes. What are you going to put grease on here?
On these little fingers, and on a little bit on the threads.
On the threads where it screws on. That's the spider.
Right.
And that's going to what clips in and engages, right?
Right.
And that's going to just screw on there.
Let me get my hands cleaned up.
This is the plunger that you have to pull up, and it will engage in those holes down in there. And that's how you adjust this.
So go ahead and pull that up, and I'll turn it. Can you hold it up?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where we need to be.
Where do you want to be?
I don't know.
Dad's putting a little grease inside of here where those fingers engage. These are what's going to click in there to engage it. And they need to seat right in that groove.
Yeah, they're in there.
Here we've got the woodruff key in there. Next is going to be this bronze spacer bushing. And we'll line that notch in there up with the woodruff key right there. And then that will go down on here. We're going to just tap that down on there. That should be pretty much it.
Now.
And it aligns with the slots in this so that it can come up and down. Next, your brakes.
See, that holds them. Then these are held by these ears in the housing.
Yep.
So we'll have to
alternate them. You got another disc.
Yeah, we'll have to line them up.
Okay.
Get those lined up as close as we can.
Yep.
And then this will go.
And that should dog ear around those discs in there.
When we get it on.
Yeah.
We'll have to give it a little persuasion.
You ready? You got it lined up?
Pretty close. Just go slow. That's it.
Yep. There's your brakes and your clutches down here. Next goes the castle nut.
There.
We've been adjusting this back and forth. I think we got it to a good spot right here where it's snapping in, and I'm having trouble doing it one-handed, but you got to kind of, yeah, it's staying put now. And then now we can, yeah, I think we're good. Ready to push that through here?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guide me through.
We're good.
We got to go in the bearing.
There.
There it goes.
There it went.
Now let's see, my dowel is right there.
There's the dowel pin down there that we're talking about. It needs to go in through the back of this housing, and we got our gasket in there. There you go. There's a taper on both sides.
Okay.
I don't think it matters. I was going to put it this way. It'll be wearing in a different position than it was.
Should have put that on first.
No, it'll go. In fact, that'll line it up really good with the seal.
You think?
Yep. Up next, we have this lock. This is a 4B7271. It's kind of an awkward looking one, so I didn't even attempt to try and make this. And Cat still has them. Dad just put the cover on here. He made a gasket that goes behind that. And he's putting the last bolt in there. I don't know if any of you are Craftsman wrench aficionados, but look at this beauty I found at a garage sale. I just finished rebuilding it. It's an old V. So this is a 1960s one, but all new internals. Pretty proud of this one. Look how cool this is. They even got a little oiler up there at the top. Yes, we already painted this piece right here, but we're going to paint the whole thing, so it'll seal it up nice. Next, our pinion gear. I'm going to put a little grease on the inside of that. This side runs all in oil, but there's really nothing out there. We're greasing these springs. There's two of them. There's a smaller one inside of a larger one, and they fit in the end of this shaft right here. There you go. Well, I wouldn't wipe your hands yet. You probably want to put a little grease on that plunger.
Yeah, I do. You're right. Good idea.
Piece Dad's working on, that thing screws in here right into the end of this shaft. It's got a machined threads and the plungers first. Yeah, don't forget that. We do need that. 2B1864 fold over lock. This has got to go underneath of that. There you go.
Hands in the way.
That's all right. It's spring loaded, everybody, so he's trying to keep it from ending up on the other end of the shop.
Now, what we'll have to do to adjust this is find out where our latches are on here.
Dad's talking about this, and you can kind of see in there in the bottom. And then there's two ears right here on each side that latch it, engage it. And I assume that when it starts, the kind of centrifugal force throws them off.
These adjustments on these ears are for just take the spring tension.
Yep.
And we'll have to adjust that later, but let's just see. That'd be good right there, huh?
Got to be careful that your fold-over lock is not here in the way of where those ears dog
right,
there in.
So let's back it off and move this there.
It's a little bit of a brain teaser because we have to line this up where these will engage, those ears in there will engage, but we also have to line up these holes in that gear with these holes on here. A little bit more.
Well, you can just go till it's tight. It'll be fine.
That's pretty tight.
Really nice engagement. Our lock isn't perfect, but I think that's the best we can do.
This is kind of how the other one was bent, too.
It's really hard to get them perfect, but I'd rather have this. We have almost perfect ear engagement right on these flanges.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's what we're after. We'll have to lock it.
Yep. Push it on.
And then put our little guys in.
Yeah, these are little bitty ones. They're 1/2 inch. And we're going to safety wire these. I don't know if you can see that on camera. There's a hole drilled through the top, but they don't get a lot of thread engagement. They're probably about 1/4 inch is all they get. Snugging them up right now, and then we'll safety wire them. Dad just safety wired 2 of these bolts. So Dad, tell us, how did you come to know how to safety wire things?
Actually, just by looking at other safety wire. I used to own an airplane, and I used to do my own oil changes. And on those, they would even safety wire the oil filter. So that's how I learned to do some safety wire, and that was pretty simple. This is a 2-bolt safety wire here. It's not the best. There's people that do better. I should have had it a little tighter up in here. But that's how that works. If you can see, if this bolt were to back off, it would pull this bolt tighter. And if this bolt were to back off, it's going to pull on this bolt tighter. So they're pulling against each other if they were to turn, with the wrap the way it is around here. And then the tail is here.
You just tuck the tail in.
Yeah.
And what were you telling me about the tail, about how many wraps?
Generally, you want about 8 to 12 twists per inch, not more than 12. You know, 8 to 10 is about right. 8 to 10 twists per inch works real well. Otherwise, you stress the wire.
And what gauge wire are we using?
I'm not sure what this is. I had this so long it wore off. It's 302. There's heavier, but for this application, I could try some heavier, but it's off. The bigger the wire, of course, the harder it is.
And you have some special pliers for this.
Yeah, these are safety wire pliers, and we'll show you how those work here in a second.
What are you cutting, about a foot and a half of wire?
Always don't get cheap. I mean, it's not cheap wire, but, you know, trying to work with a small piece is difficult. So what you want to do is go through here, and we'll bring our wire back around just about double. And what we want to do is come around here, because we're going to be pulling this bolt this way. So
you always think you want to keep your wire so it's tightening the bolt.
Right, and we want to keep that wire. I got these gloves on, so I'm going to use pliers to pull on it here. Tighten it up against that side of the bolt there. You want it tight. Now this one, we're going to want to go clear around this bolt with the one leg, through clear around here, and go back through there with the one leg. But first, we'll put our twist in. Let's see, we're going to have to go about there. And you lock your pliers. Be sure we stay tight here. Now, you don't want to put dings in your wire and make a bad spot. So, like I just did. And you can twist it by hand too. See how that tightens it up? That's about what you want right there. And that's tight now against that leg of that bolt. So now we'll release our pliers. We'll go around. I need a few more twists so we can do it by hand. Then we'll take this leg, go through here. And we'll try not to kink our wire.
It's important not to let that wire kink, so when you pull on it, you don't want it to kink. That looks good.
And we'll pull it real tight. Out here. Get her. See, I'm a little bit loose. Then we'll bring this one around here tight. If you get your holes never line up. So you just got to do the best you can. Now we'll tighten this guy up. Could use a smaller pair of pliers. But now we'll put our twist in. There we go. I got a little too much twist on that one. But it's pretty tight.
Very tight.
And I didn't really do enough tail, but that's okay, we can make it work. Now we cut this guy off. Then you always take your little end and bend your little pigtail back so somebody don't get hurt on it.
And that also keeps it from unwinding.
Yeah.
Potentially, I suppose, a little bit.
And sometimes I've done these 2 and 3 times till I get satisfied with it. And then you just push that over there like that. There we are. Yeah, see, this is a little bit loose on here. It should be tight. You shouldn't be able to move it. That ain't too bad. I could have had them a little bit tighter, but they're not bad. So, see how this one, if it backs off, it pulls against this wire this way. And if this one tries to back off this way, it's pulling the wire that way to tighten it.
So, in essence, if any of them come loose, they're actually tightening the other bolt as they try to come loose. So,
right.
Theoretically, they can't come loose. All right?
Yeah, I'm fairly happy with that. We could have got them a little tighter, but...
that looks similar to what it was when we took it apart.
This isn't an airplane, so if it were to come apart, we can park it and fix it.
The worst it's going to cause is a couple of swear words and a lot of work.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I'm sure somebody's going to ask, and yes, you could have daisy-chained all 4 of those bolts together, but this is more than adequate. And if 2 do come loose, the other 2 aren't going to be affected. What's next? Should we put this on here?
Yeah, we can put that cover on.
All right, let's get it. We're putting a little grease on the shift fork and that rod that it rides on, and I guess the other shift fork.
It's the lever shaft on the lever.
The engagement lever. So basically that's how your lever moves that shift fork back and forth, and that's what engages right here on the pinion. You got it engaged?
No, not yet. There it's slipping down in there.
Okay. Line up
here, I got
gasket. You got it?
Yeah.
Got one more part to try and put on here. This is the O-ring that seals it into the bell housing, and this is a 2A3676. Well, like Dad said, this got rid of more D4 parts that were just laying around here. Oh, you got it. Nice. It's over here with everything else, waiting to either get put on the machine or painted. There you have it. I think Dad did a really good job on this, in my opinion. So I do want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. See what I did there? So I was just thinking, Grandpa's got his favorites. He loves Lubriplate, and we're going to go over the top 3. Lubriplate, probably Marvel Mystery Oil, and then water pump lube and anti-rust. What do you think?
Anti-rust is a big one.
Yeah. I think grease is number 1 for him, though, the Lubriplate. We were just discussing, I have bought, these are grade 8, 3/8 lock washers, the split ones. I think I have bought 400 of these, and we've used close to that on this project so far. I mean, the radiator alone took, I think, 36 of them. I've been keeping this bucket of all the lock washers that we've taken off of this project. There's a couple of bolts in there that, these are the radiator ones that we welded out to get them out. But, yeah, we've so far got this thing almost full.